My wallet is sobbing. I can hear it. I can hear it in the hall now. It is breaking down, crying.
It turns out that Attila, the arrogant so-and-so, he's got a fake hammer.
Oh, a fake?
Yeah.
Whoa. As I say, dick.
Welcome to episode 80 of the Mythic Legions podcast. That's 80, the atomic number for Mercury. There you go. Phileas Fogg, he went around the world in 80 days, didn't he?
He did.
For you IT nerds, Mal, standard TCP/IP protocol for HTTP is 80.
I'll take your word for that one.
Yeah, there you go. So that's what we're talking through now. And in French, they don't have a number 80. They just tell you to multiply 4 times 20. 80. That's 80. There you go. So they're the different 80s that I could come up with for our 80th episode of the Legions podcast. So Rich is back in the hot seat. How are you, Rich?
I'm good, thank you. Thoroughly enjoying an internet that works.
Yeah.
So that's a very nice change after last week.
Yeah. Can somebody in Wales just sort out, Rich, like a kind of Wi-Fi dish or something, one of these things?
It's just ridiculous. I mean,
I
I
see
work
ads for them.
and sometimes it's fine, and then sometimes it's just like, nope. And that was a no.
I see ads for them all the time when I'm watching a bit of Irish TV over here, and because there's a lot of houses in Ireland that are in the countryside, and there's companies that sell these kind of 5G whatever things that you can stick in your house, and they say it's better than fibre. So there you go. You need a mobile one of them, Rich.
Yes, yeah. Well, we tried. We got a little box that takes one of the SIM cards and turns it into Wi-Fi, and that actually is worse than having the SIM in my phone. So
yeah,
that was a no-go. So yeah, we'll get there.
You will indeed. And Mal, how are you? Good week so far?
Yeah, so far. Yes, so far. Yeah.
Recording on a Monday this week for scheduling reasons. So otherwise you'd have had to do with an episode without one of us again this week, and we couldn't have that. Plus Rich came up with the idea for this week's episode, so we definitely needed him.
Yeah.
So this week, what are we going to do, Rich, apart from talk about a few things like this? We're going to talk about the skeleton, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Legions Con floor plans, and then after that, what are we going to do, Rich?
We are going to talk about what is Mythos missing.
There you go. So that could be anything, really, couldn't it?
It could be, yes.
Be a bit of Cosmerium stuck in there as well by Malcolm.
Will Mal. Okay. John, make a note of the timing of that so you can cut it out.
he's just based on the brain, And you also wanted to talk a little bit about maybe what parts we might commission from 3D parts makers that wouldn't necessarily end up in the Legions line at all, maybe because it's outside of their wheelhouse, or you just don't think that they would do it, maybe.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. And a lot of the stuff that I think is missing from Mythos is absolutely stuff I would commission in a heartbeat. So there's definitely a crossover there with me.
Gotcha. Right. So, firstly, we should get on to one thing I wanted to shout out straight up is what the Four Horsemen are at in September. And specifically there on the 7th of September, we see at the top of our screen, and this is a screenshot from something that the Four Horsemen posted last week. Epic Toy Show in Arizona, in Phoenix, is run by our very own Phoenix in Flames, Arizona in Flames Mafia. It's Thomas Belay, and it's Dave Williams, and also Thomas's mate, who name escapes me right now.
Sam.
What? Sam, yeah. So they're going to be running a Four Horsemen street team there, so that's pretty awesome for them. So go check them out if you're in Phoenix, Arizona, 7th of September. Definitely worth checking those boys out. They give you a deal on some Legions. And tell them the Euro Legion sent you. There you go. How about that? That'd be some circle, wouldn't it? these guys in Europe sent me to Arizona for some Legions. And there's also a couple more things on there. The same weekend, RetroCon is on, so that's Philadelphia. So that's the East Coast, that usual crew. So probably the Wolf King guys will be there, I guess. I think Anthony Houseal, Toy Forge will be there for 2. And I'm sure lots of other people that are kind of closer in geography to the studio. ToyCon New Jersey then the weekend after. Again, I think that will be, the Four Horsemen will be at both of those, since it's at their side of the country. So very, very cool. Lucky you guys if you can check those things out. And Fan X, which is the 26th to 28th of September in Salt Lake City, in, I think that's Utah. And that's a Dan Larson Toy Galaxy related event, I believe.
Okay, that'd be interesting.
He seems to be involved in that, and that's a new one for the Horsemen. So Salt Lake City, you guys get the Horsemen.
Yeah, Nate
Nate
does that, doesn't he? He's a Utah native, so he'll.
There
be
you go.
doing
Yeah, so that'll be Nate Street Team. There you go. So and maybe, I don't know if anyone else from the studio will be going out there. Maybe it might be close enough to Walter, although Walter has moved, has he? He's moved to the other side of the country. I think I remember seeing that.
Has he? He's left California?
Yeah, I think he did, or he was moving, or in the process of moving, yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So, so we'll probably see a lot more of him then on that side of the country, and probably more involved in the day-to-day with the Horsemen, so pretty cool. Right, and then we had the Legions Con map, which is very small there. So what I've done is I've kind of cropped it out. And very exciting to see the floor map. That kind of makes it real, guys. And seeing as it's in the same room as we had last year, you can kind of almost visualize it.
That's the really nice thing about it this year, isn't it? Because it's in the same place again where we were last year. You can see it in your mind's eye and an idea of what it'll look like, which, I don't know, adds to the excitement maybe, or I don't know.
It does, Mel, definitely. And the whole episode that Jeremy did with Curtis last week on his show, on Jeremy's show now, just got me so excited. All of a sudden I'm looking at t-shirt designs for myself. The three of us are discussing our t-shirt designs as a podcast.
Yeah.
We're talking about pins. We may, might not be there, but we're talking about, and it's just, it's just got the juices flowing, as it were.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we're in the first row. So we are basically in the row that the Horsemen were in last year, because they're going to be in a separate room, which we'll come to in a while. But we're there on the row with Anthony. So we teamed up with Anthony after the con last year to plan joining him this year, basically, with he's kind of assembled this group, or he's been involved at least in assembling this group. So we have the Toy Forge and 13Z, that's Matt Steen, isn't it? Steenstein.
It is, yeah.
Funhouse and Detour. Detour has 2 booths, so that's Mark Houseal, Stefan Delatour, of course, ourselves, Tristan and Carlo from Immortal Collections. Then behind we have Giovanni, Mythic Bits, that's Chris Ferrone. We have He-Mike. I believe, Mal, you have a He-Mike custom.
I do, yes.
You need to be careful.
There's a couple there that I need to be careful. Giovanni,
yes,
it's incredible.
Yeah, and the beauty about going to John, I'm trembling over this one.
You're too close to Giovanni now. You might break. If you see that he has something left after like 10 a.m. on the first day, you're like, all right, okay, I'm broken. Give it to me. All of it.
Let's be honest. If he's got something left at 8:01, Mal's going to be just going over there going, so.
And then another one you need to be aware of, Borderland Horde.
These boys could bankrupt me, the amount of cool stuff they're putting out over the last few weeks. I keep messaging you boys going like, F it, there's another good one, F it, there's another great one. It's like, oh no.
Yeah. And I'm like, relax, Rich, we'll see them at Legions Con. He goes, I know, that's the problem. But yeah, lovely guys. And then the malignancy in the corner there, the goblins. So the dwarves and the goblins are teaming up, it seems, for Legions Con. So
yeah,
that's
and
pretty good,
although it doesn't look
well.
like it there, it's going to be an open plan setup as well, isn't it? We're not.
Yeah. And it's going to be called the First Alliance. At least that's what is being mooted in the group to kind of coordinate a little bit between us. So, yeah, that's not your favorite name, lads, no?
It's a choice.
It's the sort of thing when you see that come up, then it's like, okay, we've got goblins, we've got elves. We need somebody else to have a load of goblins and dwarves. We need somebody else to have a load of elves somewhere. Somebody else to have a load of humans. We need to cover the First Alliance properly.
Yeah. Well, I'm not doing elves, so we'll have to rely on someone else for that. Right. The next row is pretty similar to last year. You got Dennis Derby, Noah Pratt, Eric Miller. We got 24 is Creative Beast Studios. Then we got Brian Burke, Von Burke Studios. And then if we come beside Brian, we've got Drunk Gizmo Customs. So that's Alexander Deshaw. My Wife's Going to Kill Me is there beside Matt Rod, Ideas from Mars. So Armies of Ashmore. So he'll be there drawing on his iPad. So if you can distract him for that, you can talk to him about the...
You'll all remember Armies of Ashmore. That's the one that he wouldn't come on our show to promote last year in the run to leaderboard.
And he won't be this year either.
No.
So then we've got Eugene Unick, Dr. Grimm's Custom. So he's right there. It's the same spot he was last year. And then in the corner, number 31 is Matt Rhodes. So there you go. So lots of talent there as well, guys.
Some really, really good booths there.
Yeah, staring at Noah's stuff and Eric's stuff. It's going to be dangerous as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's hope Anthony puts some kind of barriers up so we can't see.
Yeah, just to clarify, you can just walk around here into that corridor. Sorry.
And I will say, and Dennis's stuff as well.
Dennis is awesome.
Add,
yeah. My fear of being too close to Dennis is I might get drunk.
Well, that's,
Sorry, Rich.
No, I was just going to clarify for the listeners that when Mal says staring at their stuff, he means their figures.
I mean,
he might be staring at the other stuff as well, but that's not going to be a big thing for the day.
Staring at the
little for the night.
Staring at little Noah and little Dennis and all that sort of stuff.
So moving along, so the next booth down, so on the same side of the room. So right at the end there, 41 and 51 is Lone Wolf Labs. They're dioramas. So they have lots of great stuff. Quite competitively priced, I remember from last year.
Yeah, they were on
Dio's,
last year, weren't they?
Yeah, Dio's being a foreigner is a tough one. So I just kind of ignore them in a way. I mean, I admire them, but I don't go much further than that because I'm not going to buy because it's too difficult to get home. So in our slot where we were last year, our table of 52 from last year is now Toys R Us. So you got in the corner there. I'm just going to actually go across to it. So you got Empire Toy Shop across there as well. So that's another kind of toy shop. So if you want to get lots of different figures, that might be a little spot for you. Behind Toys R Us is D. Blake Makes. That's the guy that makes all the signs for your shelves and displays and stuff. He has awesome stuff. He also had, I think, faction logos last year from the Horsemen. Some of them, not them all.
You boys tempted by those? I kept staring.
I was tempted, except for I don't think there was all the factions. And then I was like, oh, it's going to be like the coins from the game. And it's just going to annoy me in the end.
So if he's got more this year, you could be...
I'd be tempted. I'd get a pack of 10, for all the factions. That'd be awesome. And like 10 is not too many. If there was 50 factions in Legions, I'd be like, okay, I totally understand you can't make them and I'll get my few favorites. But when there's only a nice, smallish number of factions, that could be pretty cool. So 43 is Death by Collectibles. And 53 then behind them is Paul's Customs. We were beside him last year, so
if
he
Paul's
has
bringing his mum
great
again this year,
sculpts.
I'm going to have to go along and say hello to her because she was the
she's
nicest
lovely.
lady.
She was lovely, yeah. And I'm sure her wasn't a leg. She had like a broken leg or something.
Yeah, she'd had
last
an
year.
op, hadn't she, or something?
Yeah. So hopefully that's healed well. Paul is supposed to have a lot of new stuff this year, so because he did a kind of a clear out of his old stuff on his website, so that will be exciting to see.
Really good prices as well, isn't he? For
yeah, he always has good prices. Yeah. 44 is the 5 Burrow Collective, so I don't know who that is, and sure I probably know the guys' names if somebody was here to tell me, but I don't know who they are. Probably 5 people we know. Just haven't heard that brand name. And 54 is Dirk's Designs, Dirk Nagel Customs.
I'll be making a beeline for that table, I'm sure.
And then right on the end cap there, like he was last year, is Noble Bear Customs. So Anthony Velez.
And I think it was suggested he might be sharing with Blaze again this year, which...
right, yeah, because I didn't find Blaze on the map, and he was saying he was doing it, so that's a good shout, yeah.
Yeah, Blaze is definitely selling. He was chatting to me and saying he's definitely
maybe
selling.
Maybe he's part of the 5 Burrow Collective.
Oh, maybe.
Let's see. Across the aisle then, we have, that's Leland, isn't it? Retrospect
it is,
Customs and Kingpin Customs, Lenny.
Oh,
so we had them on last year for an episode.
Yeah.
Unparalleled Universe is there, number 63. So that's the guy, he was a toy reviewer and he has a figure now, isn't that right, Mal?
That's right, yeah. I must admit, I don't know loads about him. He's not one I watch, but I know he's very popular with people.
Is the figure called Odious or something? It's like a simian type figure.
Yeah, with soft goods kind of clothing and stuff. So, Strupp Family Crafts, they're back this year. So
that's good to see
for all your soft goods needs. So very cool. Number 72 across there is Forge Toys. So Fox Forge Toys, so they're the Galactic Valor guys.
That's right. Yeah.
I think they were in the same spot last year. And then right beside your buddies, Spiro Toys, Animal Warriors, is Mark Calvo, another European.
Oh, awesome.
Action figure showroom. So Mark has a lot of cool stuff. Calvo Customs Creations. He has a website, that's what it's called. So Google that if you want to see what he has.
Yeah, Mark's got some amazing stuff. It's really good to see him there. But I will have to wear sort of blinkers or something like that so I can chat to him without looking at the pillocks next to him.
Oh yeah, it would just chat to him at the bar. Yeah, just be an adult, Rich. Yeah,
I am an adult. It's difficult sometimes, I'll be honest, but I am an
adult. Could have fooled me.
Yeah. I'm luckily my wife and child are not here. They're both looking at me going, "You're really not, dude." No.
Yeah, I could have known that without ever hearing them say that. Right, and then across the aisle, so we're back to the top of the other side of the room here. So opposite main entrance 2, we're opposite main entrance 1 on the other side. We have the kind of Wolf King area. So we got Wolf King Customs. We got Patrick Boyle is there at number 6 with Telltale Art.
It's
Nathaniel Armstrong. Yes, Nathaniel Armstrong. Of course it is. We got Lord Stephen and Dave Williams. So little and large.
Hang on, John. Lord Stephen's not with My Wife's Going to Kill Me, boys.
No, he hasn't, and he wasn't last year either. Can you believe? Yeah. Let's see how much salt Pete throws him, because he's thrown enough salt at me. Because I said, "Look, gonna go a different way for the shirts this year, Pete." Because and straight up about the shirts. I mean, we love to do the shirts. They're great advertising for the podcast and ever. They are not a money maker. If anyone's making money off shirts, it might maybe the people that make the shirts, because they do enough bulk and they do enough orders. But any individual people, they're either, I mean, some people were giving away shirts mostly, which is quite expensive. But yeah, we're just trying to cover the costs on the shirts.
Yeah.
And we didn't do that last year because we didn't take pre-orders. We just ordered a number out of our head. And ate that.
Still got some. They'll come with me to Legions Con.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so Mal will still have some more of last year's shirts. So I might even have a few as well. So bringing them along too. 8, we have Emil for your tribute customs. He has a lot of there. You'll have a lot on display. Probably a lot sold beforehand, like last year. Emil is famous. So he sells all his stuff pretty easily in advance. We got number 9. We got the Ackermans. So Darla and Curtis and Tanya McCoy. So we spoke to Curtis last week about the deadly soft goods that Darla's going to have. Curtis has a wide range of customs, maybe some heads. So I'm not sure what Tanya has. Do we know? I know she has done some customs. I've definitely seen some of her customs. She does of football teams and stuff.
I think
But
Curtis
they seem to be...
said
Sorry,
she
yeah?
was going to show. I think Curtis said she was showing them off. She was going to have them on display.
Which is had them on display, right?
Yeah,
That's very cool. Because I did think she probably wasn't selling them because they seem to be quite a personal thing. So
Yeah.
that's awesome to have them on display. Jesse, Arnold Just Shelvit, he'll have awesome stuff. Lots of customs and stuff like that. Very creative stuff Jesse does, especially if you're into the flock.
Jesse's table as well. He should also have. There's a good chance he'll have Brian C. as well. Like
Oh
he did
yeah, I
last
didn't
year.
see Brian listed.
Mark. Oh, I've forgotten his surname.
Rivera.
Yes, but Brian and Mark both sell their stuff through Wolf King now as well, sort of thing. So it all fits in with the Wolf King family sort of feel to it.
Gotcha. Okay, and Eric LeBron is there in the same spot he was last year. He'll have a lot of customs for sale. Eric does awesome customs. And then Mythic Customs, that's Jeremy Gerard. He'll have a table of Mythic Shoguns, I think, which are his display piece this year. And he'll have a table of stuff for sale. So,
yeah. If you can't find me at any point, there's a very good chance I'll be stood staring at the Mythic Shoguns.
Okay.
Trying to convince Jeremy to sell you one.
Yeah.
No,
Or
because
doing
you
a
want them
Curtis
all.
as it's known otherwise.
Yeah. You're probably not wrong there, John. You probably. So all I bought this year was all of the Shogun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got 5 Mythic Samurai figures from Jeremy from a couple of years back, sort of thing. So, if I get a chance to add another one, that wouldn't be the end of the world.
Sure wouldn't. Right, across the way then, we have Meta Travelers. So their figures must be coming soon enough or within the next while. I know they did a recent update that it's taking a bit longer than expected, but every single action figure production takes longer than expected. So that's just a fact of life, but I'm looking forward to getting the ones that I ordered from them. Be interesting to see what kind of latest stuff they have. Maybe they have factory prototypes or stuff like that, or factory paint, what are they called?
Paint
Masters.
Paintmaster is the one you send to the factory, I think.
Oh, right, yeah.
Paint sample, I think is right. Yeah, I think you're right, Rich. Dang Studios, so across from us last year.
Mum and Dad.
This is Mum and Dad, Dusty and Ange. So look out for them. They have a wide variety of stuff, and of course the Cabal Creations comic book, which is Cosmic this year, Mal, I believe.
Yes, I need to get
so
one of them.
You need to get one of them. Yeah, I'd definitely be getting another one or two. And of course the calendar man himself, Mr. 1/6 Shooter Trevor. He's right there. Booth 28. And 27 is Future Past Customs. Any idea who that is?
No, it's a new one to me.
Oh, Jeremy said on his show, bear with me.
Okay. I should probably bring up the Legions Con website. Maybe that gives a bit more. That doesn't say. Oh, Future Past. Paul and Steve.
Yeah, so these were the guys. I made a note of some of the ones when Jeremy was doing his show. These are the ones that were in the other room last year. And they had some absolutely insanely good full custom figures. like loads of Motu tributes and all this sort of stuff.
I didn't make it into that other room very much.
Oh, there's stuff. I only had a few minutes just to run around that room, but I spent most of it just staring open mouthed at the stuff that they had. They weren't selling, I don't think. I'm not sure if they're selling this year, but the standard of the figures were out of this world. They're amazing.
That's cool.
Okay, cool. Right, back to it here. Then Carver Customs 26 on the end there. That's right.
Yep.
So Brian has awesome stuff. He's teasing a good bit of stuff in the Cabal lately, so he should have the torches, obviously what he's famous for, and the dios, but lots of other stuff too. So
yeah, he's got his boy making dios now as well, hasn't he? So
yeah, I saw that.
Some of those
and
there
Good as well.
And also, he has done some cosmic stuff, little robots and stuff, Mal.
Yep, I've got the basic one. I'm hoping he's got bits for it that I can buy when I'm there.
Awesome. So then behind them, 36 and 37 is Plunderlings. So they might have, I'm guessing they might have a figure for like a convention figure or something to pick up, and probably just some figures for sale, because they definitely had a bunch of figures for sale last year. So if you're looking to get into Plunderlings or pick up a few, that'd be a good spot.
They're very, very cool, but they're one of those that I just don't get enough FOMO to have taken the plunge with them. But they are very cool figures.
Yeah. And then 38 is PL Toy Box Photography. I think that's Pablo Lopez. And Insightful Imagery. So that's toy photographers. So I assume they'll have prints and stuff. You think?
Yeah.
should do, yes. Yeah. Well-known photographers.
Yeah, or at least to be displaying pictures that they do. So 39, that is Toys and Tunes. Pete LaRosse. So do we know him?
No. It sounds like the name of a like a toy shop vendor, but I don't know whether it is or not.
Okay. So returning Legion's Con exhibitor Pete's display always includes some very hard to find older Four Horsemen figures.
Oh, is this the guy that has all the birds and that each year?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so Formo Toys, Mal?
Yeah, they make some great stuff, but it's another one I just don't need their stuff. You know, it's nice to see it and it's cool seeing it in person when you're there, but I don't get the FOMO enough to the FOMO for Formo.
Yeah, so I've heard them like mistakenly called FOMO toys occasionally on shows, and then sometimes the show realizes and they still just call them FOMO toys. Even being into Origins and stuff like that, you don't feel the need to maybe.
If they'd given them the Origins treatment, I think I'd be more inclined. But I'm not too fussed about the vintage style of, the old Motu stuff. There's something about the articulation for Origins that makes them really fun.
Cool. Right, the next, so that's then another row down on the same side. We got Duarte Studios. So on the end cap there, that's Brian Almeida. So I'm sure he'll have a big dios for display and stuff. Do you guys know anything more about what he has this year, or has he teased anything?
He's been doing the turtle. I think he did a skateboard and maybe like he was selling a manhole cover type. I guess display stands, but just little manhole, almost like coasters. So I wonder if he'll have some of that stuff there, and maybe some more Legions related stuff as well.
Right.
It's all very
last year he was promoting a lot of stuff, but I've not. Maybe he just hasn't got around to it yet. But I've not seen much from him so far this year.
Yeah, the last thing I saw, he was redoing those, as you said, the turtle vans.
Yes.
People could send him a turtle van, and he would kind of weather it all up, and I don't know, do a lot of different stuff to it.
I must admit, if he is doing some turtle stuff, I might end up picking some stuff up from him as well. Beerman Photography. So that's another
photographer, obviously, Jared. So he'll be offering 3D printed items and dioramas. So that would help. Oh, so he's basically selling stuff that you could use in your toy photography as kind of background stuff.
Right. Okay. Oh, that's cool. That's a really good.
That's
idea.
pretty cool, isn't it? 48. So that's Go Figure Go. So anyone know what they are? No? Before I look them up?
No, new one?
No, I don't know those.
Okay. Okay, I don't have them here. I'm sure Jeremy said about them. So Big Head Studios is next. They always have great 3D printed stuff, and usually they have good deals on, like, you can get 7 for...
Right.
I remember they had last year a deal for 5 and a deal for 7, and it was pretty good.
Yeah, I got last year. I took advantage of their big one. It was 15 for 100.
There you go. Yeah, that was
which I took advantage of. Yeah, and 2 really nice guys, because I took ages to pick last year, and they were really good with me.
Yeah,
about it. So yeah,
of course they were. They knew you were going to buy them.
No, they are 2 nice guys anyway.
Yeah,
I was chatting to them a bit the year before.
Yeah.
2 nice guys.
So Go Figure Go is again props for your figure photography and dioramas and things like that.
Oh, cool. So it's good. It's cool to have them all in the one kind of area. They can compete with each other. Crash Box Customs is on the end cap there. So again, pretty awesome for dio people that live reasonably near. I mean, their cosmic dios, Mal, are incredible.
You can take them apart. There's a little part of me that's every time I go, I'm going to go away with like the small cosmic dio that they do. And then don't. And every time I go, I spend the year between, the last 2 years going, oh, I should have just got it. So this time I might
surely there's one that's like just perfect for, doing a single figure photo.
There is, they do.
Yeah. Surely that wouldn't be too bad in the luggage.
No. And as I say, it is all take apart. You can take it all apart. So that's sort of what they do with their stuff. So I might bite the bullet this year and actually get a couple of, a dio piece for my cosmic stuff. Yeah.
There you go. So Highly Posable is the next one. They're customizers. They'll be joined by Mythic Heathens as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Corey Shortsenhaffer, isn't it?
That's those guys.
Okay, that'll be good.
There'll be some good bits there as well. Corey does some really good stuff.
Yeah. The Geek Out Show, so that's Jade Russo and the boys. So they'll have they've customs, they've had 3D printed stuff in the past. I know we got they gave us some freebies last year. Definitely got some stuff off them. So that's another cool one to check out. They'd be a bit like ourselves, I guess. 57. Anyone recognize them? No, it's
is it Perry
Morel? Yeah, Perry Morel.
Yeah.
Perry
does all the awesome troll customs.
Trolls. Yeah.
So I don't think he sells necessarily. I think he normally just displays. He does amazing troll ones. And last year he had Andy Spinks with him as well, sharing a table. I don't know if Andy's going this year or not. Hopefully he is, because his customs are amazing. I always end up buying something from him.
Yeah. Awesome. Legion's Lair. So we know those guys, Brad and Mike. So they'll have they said they'll have some surprises in store, so I guess we have to see what that's going to be.
I would imagine it's pins of their faces dressed up as the characters that are named after them.
See, with those guys,
well, if they haven't done that, they're missing a trick. Yeah?
When they talk about surprises, those guys, and it's not really fair on them. I just imagine some kind of unwanted nudity. I don't know, because they're not really like that. But
no, that's more.
No, that's a different. That's my wife's only booth.
Exactly.
That's Legion's
or Legion's cast now. Yeah.
Yeah. They're known for their nudity since this week. 67 is Art Gutierrez. So what does Art do? Anyone know?
I recognise the name. I just
don't know Art, I'm afraid.
Okay. Right. So you can look that up while we move on.
He's
to
he's toy.
Sorry, yeah.
He's Instagram says toy photography, toy vlogger, that sort of stuff.
Okay.
So,
I
yeah.
recognise it.
And then 68 is Shelf Gravy.
No
So-
idea.
No, you don't know them?
That's Dio's, isn't it? Shelf gravy.
Yeah. Handcrafted dioramas, soft goods. So.
Okay.
69 is 7 Amy.
I'll be interested to see what they have actually.
They've customs. Yeah, they had
yeah,
good stuff last year.
yeah, and they've shown some really cool stuff since. Well, they use some really cool color palettes and that sort of thing. So I'll be intrigued to see what they have there.
Yeah. And then 70 is
Chubsy
Wubsy. There, so that's a toy shop basically.
Yeah, retailer, yeah.
Yeah. So you'll have to forgive us. That's not really what we're there for. But I'm sure if you lived in the area, that would be cool.
No, I wouldn't necessarily
We're
rule me
driving
out
there.
going past.
Nah.
Yeah. You never know what they might have. Might be
Yeah.
able to get some
Yeah.
stuff that we can't get so easily over here. The same with Empire Toy Shop.
Yeah.
You know, there might be Jones
Yeah.
or Mezco or something that has passed us by over here.
I was thinking that, Mal. Yeah, that even if you play like con prices, it's still going to be cheaper than getting it from Big Bad, plus the shipping, plus the import duty.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
Right. So Art Gutierrez is also customizer, so he'll have customs at his table. So I think I know the guy. Actually, now I remember him.
As I say, I
Last
do
year, he
recognise
was
the
quite
name,
near
so,
to-
yeah.
Yeah, he was in that similar place last year. I think he was maybe beside Brian Carver Customs. So, right, we have 76. So that's Panther Comics. So they started over 10 years ago as being a Games Workshop retailer. He'd be bringing plenty of Citadel paint supplies and Warhammer 40k sets. In
They
addition,
were in the
expect
other
to
room
see
last year.
loose part bins and a few custom legions. Were they there last year? Yeah.
I think they were in the other room. There was definitely someone with a big rack of paints. So, I think that was
Right.
them.
Okay. 78 is, or no, sorry, 77. Ah, I'm losing my page here. It's Chucky's Geek Spot. So 77, Chucky's Geek Spot.
Sounds
So
like a retailer.
That's another retailer. I
that's
think.
another retailer, yeah. And then 78, Jabba's Palace. Do we know them?
Joba's Palace.
Oh, it's Joba's.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is, yeah. Joe. Oh, don't be G.I. Joe's.
I don't think it will be.
Barge load of Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions, Marvel, Star Wars. So they're another retailer or kind of a shop. Yeah. So, and then we have 79. We all know him, artist Zoran.
We do.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah,
artist.
I managed to run out of time and didn't get anything from Art last year, but that's going to be corrected this year.
I see he's on a work trip over in Thailand at the moment. So, but he's getting time to paint all the same. So, yeah, he should have a lot of cool stuff. He's always trying to improve. And I think many people, if they got to his level, would think they don't need to improve anymore. So
Yeah.
that's very impressive.
I think-
and number 8, sorry, yeah, Rich.
I was going to say Art with his table as well. I think Curtis has said this a couple of times. He rotates what's out as well. So,
Yeah.
it's not a case of everything's out. Once you go past once, you've seen it all sort of thing. He does rotate during the days. So there's always new stuff up there.
And then 80 is Trollhead Studios. So they do Trollheads.
And giant full-size metal swords.
And
Was
also
it them who did the
dioramas.
Did the Ether Blade.
Them who did like the leather
Oh,
strap?
that's those
no,
guys.
them who did
Yeah.
the right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Jamie Stutt and Paul.
Jamie and Paul, isn't it? Yeah.
Jamie and Paul, like mad about you.
Showing his age
Following
there.
exhibitors will be in the hallway, so it's very small to see them there. So I'll just run through them. So it's Fit You, Articulated Times, so that he's a toy photographer. Know that Renders FX, Rogues Gallery, Khalid Udin, JJE Toys, Honeypot Project, Brutal Realm, the Gabal Swag Shop and Cellar Door Graphics, and the 90 is the Legions Con figures and pins and stuff.
I think it's really cool that there's going to be vendors in the hallway. It kind of makes that whole area as you go down that corridor into the con, and almost, I don't know, sort of more of a den of iniquity, for want of a better way of putting it, as you go down that corridor and round the corner and in just loads of cool stuff.
What are they going to be vending, Mal? Jeez.
I'm expecting
Didn't you hear
smoke
it? Den
and
of
all sorts.
iniquity.
Yeah. I'm imagining smoke and all sorts bellowing down the corridor and the music in the background, as if we're in the bazaar,
So, just a few interesting ones I've seen here. Rogues Gallery specializes in one-of-a-kind hand-sculpted statues, custom mythic and cosmic figures, diorama pieces, and assortment of painted heads and more. So, sculpted statues. That should be
sounds
interesting to see what they are.
Brutal Realm, I'm excited by. I'm hoping they fund, even if it means me spending more money.
I wonder if they're going to add the big bad orders in or something, because they've got 10 days to go now and they're less than 50% still, which doesn't look great for them.
As Jeremy sort of said, if they don't fund, they wouldn't be the first one, and there's a chance and an opportunity to come back bigger and better later, isn't there? And people do, Valaverse didn't do it the first time round, and look at them now,
Oh yeah, it's all about what they do next if they don't fund. It's not it's not to dwell in the sorrow of that.
And I think they've got a very cool idea there. It's something, it's in the vein of, but it's different enough to what else is about.
Yeah. So Khalid Udin, he's an author.
He was there last year as well.
Yes.
Yeah. And Fit You is a fitness coaching service. Will have you on your way to being among the most lethal to walk the lands of mythos. Come learn how to steal mace workouts could unlock your inner warrior.
The horsemen obviously look old Jeremy. And Joe looked at their clientele and were like, could do with some work here.
I mean, to be fair, like if you're a fitness studio, it's maybe not a bad idea to try and pick a few clients from people that maybe
it's not the most athletic bunch, is it? Let's be fair.
No, but like it could be, No,
well, that's what I mean. Opportunity, encouragement.
Yeah, exactly. Don't need to go after a load of guys with 6-packs. They're already coached.
Could do with a bit of her help.
Yeah, exactly. Then we have the 4 Horsemen rooms. So we've got this Mythic Legions, the Legions Armory experience. Let's not speculate on that, because that's just going to be too embarrassing if we're wrong. Because it might even be revealed or something by the time this episode goes out.
Yeah, I mean,
Jeremy said
away about it.
No, he said on his show it's going to be 2 or 3 weeks. I think we got a bit of time.
Okay, but anyway, I don't fancy it.
He did say it would be ticketed, though, didn't he? Free tickets.
Yeah, but free tickets. So
yeah. I think more so there's not everyone hitting it at once. I think that would be. I think for that.
Yeah, it's got to be cool little weapons to buy, surely.
Yeah, there was some
that you can just.
Okay, the one thing I will say, there's been a lot of speculation about it being like a Lego build minifigure thing for Legions. Well, it's going to be lots of different factory painted parts. But I just think that would be weird to have like a bunch of factory painted stuff out there that doesn't belong to any particular figure.
Well,
And then, like, I know there's lots of customs out there and stuff, but this is like a factory painted green armor or something, but it doesn't belong to any figure. It's a bit.
That was one of the suggestions I saw, is that the second figure we saw on that, we don't know what this is, was parts that were going to be in in bins here, as you could pick them up and build your own figure.
Yeah,
we'll see. That I just the logistics of that seems hard.
Yeah, and also the amount of time. Can you imagine people like faffing around trying to decide what they want and which bits they're going to buy? You have to get through the set time limit and go like, "Come on, guys, time to go."
But getting those parts through the factory as well, whilst they're doing everything else.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll find out, won't we? I so want to get into Glios, but really don't at the same time. And $30 for what are really quite small. I know it's because they're produced in small numbers, just feels a little bit cost prohibitive to me. Especially also that you can't then, hardly any of them actually ship over into this country if you want to order anything after Legion's Con. So, but it's very cool seeing them.
Yeah. Same as you, Mal. They look really cool, but it's a lot of money for it. And I'm not saying they're charging too much at all, but it's a lot of money for a tiny little bit of plastic.
Yeah. For sure. Right, then if I just go through quickly who's in this room.
Yes.
And so if we go, so the bottom part, it's a separate entrance, is the 4 horsemen. So they're they're figures for sale. So this is not the show figures, but this is the horseman booth. And then you can exit out through there, or you can go into another entrance to this room. Sorry, Mel.
This room now that we're looking at is what G-Con was in last year.
Okay.
And the other room, I think, is then the room that was the second room for vendors last year.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
But you can only... Sorry, John, I was going to say, so there's a picture of George and Diego at the bottom, because that's where the tills are. So you pick all your figures in this room that's on screen now.
Yeah.
Then you have to go through the doors into the other room to pay for them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But you can't go from this room into the horseman. You have to go that outside entrance.
Yeah, has to be the other way,
Yeah.
But they're saying it about it being a fair as well. So, I mean, it's not just... I don't think it's going to be a rack of tables like it's been previously. I think they've not said what. They're planning on doing something a little bit different, all right?
Yeah, Jeremy sort of described it as being like a pop-up store. Yeah, so the storefront, he sort of was talking about the pop-ups that you see it. So could be like a bit more like a little shop rather than...
So it's not going to be a big, massive
tables.
table. It's going to be like walls of figures, which is really cool. Yeah.
I mean, he didn't say for definite.
Yeah, but potentially,
like
that,
doesn't it? And I agree. I think that would be much cooler, wouldn't it? Racks of figures rather than just a big table.
It will. Yeah, and it means people can wander around more then, doesn't it? Because that's the thing with the table. If you've got somebody in front of you, like me, buying a ton of them, you could be there waiting for ages. And it's like, come on.
And then all the figures that are one per customer, put them up really high so only Big Greg can reach them.
Yeah, and
then you have to go to Big Greg and say, hey, Big Greg, can I have a Valiant Knight, please? Or whatever, there was last year. And that's how you get your one per.
That's it.
And Greg's going to be like, oh, man, only get one of them, man. I can't do it. My voice is absolutely... I'm still sick, as probably you can hear. So
you still... dude.
Yeah,
rubbish.
I'm going to another doctor tomorrow. My trusty old ENT surgeon, he's going to sort me because, the other ones are just going around in circles. But I've had a blood test and all is clear, and tested for pneumonia and all that kind of stuff. So it's either nothing or something way more serious. Who knows?
Okay.
But it's bloody annoying, and I can't even drink alcohol because as soon as I drink anything like that, it just irritates my throat and I start coughing. So, well, maybe that's good for the health. Anyway, to get back to procedures, this is running way long. We've faffed our way through the whole map here now, and it's way longer than I thought. And I'm sure Jeremy has done it way better. So anyone that's listening to this would be like, why did I listen to those guys bullshit on about it. And I'm sorry for you. So,
We'll give him
maybe
a
I'll
Maybe
put
put
a
this,
timestamp.
put this in
I'll
the
put a
second
time-
bit.
I'll put a timestamp in the episode where if the good stuff starts. S2. So we moved to S2. There on the map is Nate Barch. 3 is D13 Toys. So that's Biblical Adventures, Chris Gorich. Also, maybe if you want to get your figures signed, your 2-pack.
Yes.
We got C. Jessam there in number 4. And number 5 there is Retro Rags. If we move around, 6 is Lewis Craft. So that's the wine toppers.
Okay.
So I'll be definitely revisiting them to get a few more. My
Kind of
wife
regret
was
not
impressed
getting
last year. So
Yeah.
if we could get an Arakagor one, I think I'd be onto a winner there. We got the Great Hall Games. It still exists. It's still going. That's the Mythic Legions Tactics. We got Simple Tricks and Nonsense there, number 8, which is the cosplayers. That's John and Rebecca. The best John at Legions Con, I guess. Definitely the best Rebecca. And the armory experiences there. And the mini Glycon is all those guys. And I won't list them, but if you're into that, the details are on the Legions Con website. But I think a lot of the cool creators from the Glyos scene are in there. So does that get you even more excited, guys?
Oh, yeah. I'm super excited about it all. At
Yeah.
this point.
Are you pumped?
Well pumped.
I am. I was looking forward to it anyway, but now it's that sort of just finished, coming up to the end of the summer holidays here. Nights are pulling in a bit already. It's getting a bit colder, like it was this morning. So it's something to look forward to. I'm well pumped for it.
Gotcha. Well, how about we talk about a little new arrival that we've all had? And we're not talking about another baby. We're talking about this little guy here, Mr. Skeleton Legion Builder 2. So, so got him in today, would you believe? As predicted, it sat in Luxembourg for 5 days in the FedEx office because the estimated delivery date was today. So they said, screw that guy. I'm going to deliver it on the day and no sooner. It's probably something, like, oh, well, if he's not in, he'll think it was on the other day. So we just go there. It's like, right. Anyway, so got him. At least it wasn't the faff, or at least I'm not getting the faff like I got last year for the tactics figures. So I can't complain about, just a couple of days. I love this guy. The lightest Legions figure I've held. The details are insane. It's just such a fun figure. As I said to Mal, I threw it in the box again and to bring downstairs, and I threw my mouse mat on top of the box, on top of the skeleton in the box, opened obviously, and was bringing the box. I've got a couple of other figures downstairs, and next thing I looked in the box, and the skeleton is just he's poking out the side of the mouse mat like this, and it just looked hilarious. And I was like, if I can manage, if the figure is like able to be posed into a funny, cool pose, just like that, I mean, how good is that? I mean, what happens when you do your, standing side by side, rank and file pose on the shelf, Rich? That's going to be amazing.
Excuse me, I've got him in a very Saturday Night Fever pose at the moment, with the fingers out and everything.
Look at that.
Yeah, look at that. It's the whole sort of look.
Yeah,
look at it.
Show us it again there. Oh my goodness. And
That is,
like everybody else, Rich has put the pointy fingers straight on him.
Oh yeah, 100%. Boom.
Yeah. I went straight for the pointy fingers as well. First thing I did. That way, John, that way, not the other way. Yeah. Am I heading in the right direction? Yeah. That reminds me, a friend of mine, so he worked for some financial company, And he did a presentation once. Am I heading in the right direction? And one of us managed to get a copy of it somehow. I think someone was at the event, or maybe he shared it with us. And anytime then we just make memes out of it on WhatsApp with them. Like anytime anyone mentions is that the right direction, we just like the presentation. So it's going to be the skelly now. The next time that comes up, just going to put a picture of the skeleton pointing.
He is just so fun, isn't he? As I've said, and I've said before, I'm not the biggest skeleton guy, but this is the best skeleton in the line. And it makes me so excited for what's to come in Necronominus, because I think it's just going to get better. And you just want to do daft things with him, don't you? Such an expressive face, considering it.
Have you put him in Cosmic yet?
Mine's just
Not
his
yet.
knee.
Oh my God, Rich.
Look at him screaming. It's just like agony.
It's the best pose you've ever done.
I can pose. I just, it takes a bit of space on the shelf. So I, got to cram these things in a bit.
I suppose, yeah. Yeah. And you're also used to customs, which you don't want to be doing too much.
You want to pose
messing
him?
with.
No, exactly. Yeah.
I'm working on messing with his hands to give him the finger.
So show us that,
pose.
Mal. I'll put you bigger on our screen here. So,
like, as soon as I got it, I had to sort of start cutting away at one of the pairs of hands because the pointy hands weren't going to do it. But I'm sort of working on starting to put in. I did it for the photo that I put on Facebook, but I'm working on straightening those fingers out to give him finger guns, and he's going to go on my shelf giving the finger guns.
Or it could be the fawns if you use the other hand.
Yeah.
So don't worry about the sticking out.
That might be easier.
yeah.
Get him a little leather jacket.
A lot of personality and a bunch of bones. For a Legion builder, I mean, very good paint jobs. A very cool wash, nice kind of highlights. Looks really good. The weapons have a kind of patina on it. You get a bunch of hands. It's just a really nice figure.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be in contention for figure of the year in some places. I think definitely be up there. And we got 4 of them. Did we all get 4? Yeah, it was fooled not to.
Did. I think Rich only got 3 or 2.
I got 3. Yeah. So I keep
Did
it
you
under a certain
typo or
amount.
what?
No, I wanted
you were
to
trying to keep it under the 135.
and then I wanted to get a Skullman as well to sell, basically to help pay for some of the order sort of thing. So what?
I got a Skullman and I'm selling it for cost to a friend.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
Keep in mind.
Mine's now doing a knee spin. He's breakdancing. Look how excited he is. His hands are in the air and everything.
He's better than that Australian breakdancing lady.
Oh, Jesus. That's not difficult, is it? Wow.
No.
I'm sure that's
Poor woman.
A joke of some sort. I'm sure she's a comedian or something like that.
She's not apparently, but apparently she's just a bit deluded, or she's making out now that the people that actually should have been there, or like that were better than her, couldn't get their passport sorted, so she had to step in, all this kind of stuff. But I think she runs the kind of breakdancing society there or whatever.
Right.
Is it just me?
Club.
Or is that basically, if you paint that red, that is pelvicus?
Yeah.
Arms and legs
time,
asunder, just like full on. Yeah,
Yeah.
look at me.
Just missing one bone.
Yeah. Did you see it at the back of the skeleton too?
A purple gang bone.
He's got a boom boom hole.
He has. You have to take
He does.
tailbone
You
off.
take his little tailbone off, and he's got a boom boom hole.
Okay. Let's not all do that now. Can't be on the podcast looking at boom boom holes. Right. So that's the skeleton. I think we're impressed. Let's just say that. It's amazing.
Absolutely, it's great.
Yeah. If you want a full review, go and see Doorclear. Go and see Toy Bro. They're good at that kind of stuff. We're good at talking crap. And we're good at... do you think we're still in the summer of Cosmerium, maybe?
I think we're just getting towards the end of it, aren't we?
One more time then. So, for once, I didn't do pictures, but the boys did. We're going to talk a little bit about what's missing from Mythics. So I have some notes. There's definitely not an acrobatic skeleton missing from Mythics, is there? This
Look at
is
that.
you're seeing.
That guy's awesome.
We got Rich to, so he didn't have. He's such a busy man. He either had time to do pictures for the episode or open his toys. So he did the pictures for the episode in service of you, the listeners/viewers. And then we said, no, yeah, we want to talk about Skeleton Rich, so you have to open one up. So he did that just before the show. So you were literally seeing him live, discover and play and have fun. So this
First
is a
time
beautiful
playing
thing.
this
Bad breakup skeleton. Look how sad he's looking. He's got his
Oh
knees
my
pulled up.
goodness.
He's just hugging himself. It's just dear.
I'm telling you, these things photograph themselves. Like, you know, big up to all the toy photographers out there. But when the figure is that cool, I think. So anyway, what's missing in Mythics? So I think a little combination thing here, or also with what would you really commission from a third party? So do one of you want to take it away first, seeing as you're prepared? Why don't you
Shall
go,
I
Mal,
go
with what
first? 'Cause
what
I've
you
got
have?
slightly
and
less
then-
than yeah. So in terms of what's missing from Mythics, well, okay, so I've kind of done this slightly different. Mine doesn't have such an overlap. This is more what we're looking at, is more what I would commission. The things
Okay.
I would commission tend to be things that are probably a little bit infringing on IPs that I'd quite like to see. And the example I've given here is the Corvus Cabal heads from Warhammer. Well, they're from they're Chaos. I forget what exactly, but they're in Warcry, which is a smaller game for Warhammer. But they're sort of, for people listening, the Corvus Cabal are the crow. You know, they're like barbarian type characters, but with like very crow imagery, hence Corvus. And they've got masks that are, some of them are like giant crow skulls that cover part of their face. The one I really like is she wears a hood with this crow skull sort of mask, although you often see it painted like the beak's metal and you can just see a jaw underneath. But there's different variations of that, and if I was going to commission something that we wouldn't get from the Horseman, it's probably going to be things along those lines. I actually started a custom. I started a custom that was to sort of be a bit similar to
Oh wow, that's
to
cool.
that style of character, and that I'm still working on, and I'm kind of pondering how to do certain bits and pieces of him.
What is that shoulder armor you got there? Or what?
It's the cloak from the
King Shazam.
Shazam. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called though, but it's the Shazam, and I cut the cut the cloak piece away just so I had the shoulder piece.
Yeah, I think it's
amazing.
King Shazam. I think
Something like that. Yeah, and it's from the dark metal stuff, isn't it? Dark Knight's metal stuff. But yeah, so it's a work in progress. I mean, I have actually painted it, but you can't see it there. But I've given it like a shimmery paint. But I'm still working on what to do with it and how to. But so yeah, it'd be like a head to go on that, for example. In terms of what I think is missing, it's mainly for me. And this sounds mad to say because we've got a lot of different weapons and we are getting more, but there's perhaps a bit of the variety in the weapons. So we've got a couple of swords, but there are other swords that I think would be fun. The one I think of, and again, this is something I would commission if we don't get it in Mythics, is a katana. Would be a really cool sword to have. And with us starting to get a bit more of Eastern theme in some of the characters, we may well see it, but it would also work really well with some of the armor we're starting to get.
Well, why don't we talk a little bit about swords? Because Rich had a image here about swords.
Go on, Rich, I'll hand
So
it
maybe
over
we
to
can.
you.
Yeah, I have because I have a thing that sounds perverted, but I really like curved blades. So
We all have a
rather than
thing.
just your straight blades, I
Is
want the
that a thing?
curved sort of look. So we've got like a saber and a couple of slightly curved blades in the line already, which are pretty good. But there's all sorts of different ones here. And bear with me, I don't know the names, I'm afraid, to all of these. But the second from bottom on the right hand side there, where the two by themselves, there's just that really heavy blade that's slightly offset against the handle. Something like that would be awesome. The blades that go like a 45-degree angle, so they go along and then they go down like that. It's a real sort of hacking blade again.
Yeah.
Something like that would be really excellent.
You could clear a forest with that.
I'd quite like a more modern blade as well to be brought into Cosmics. There you go, getting the Cosmic bit in. Like even like a Bowie knife. I quite like what they've done with the sets we're getting from Legions Con with this sword/blade they've put in there. But it'd be quite cool to see, say, a big old Bowie knife or something like that as well, in amongst all that.
Yeah, I love
would be
any kind of blades that are curved. I think, and all of these look cool in their own way.
Maybe this is what the armory could be: a selection of curved blades.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? Yeah. I'll throw something out there. We kind of probably seen it from the customs community, but stuff for the horses to kind of carry a cart along. So like carts for horses or something for them to kind of pull along would be very cool. Again, I mean, some of this stuff can be unrealistic. I don't know how, there's so much other stuff. Would they ever get to carts for horses, or would they leave that to, the third party community? What do you think? Would you buy carts for horses, Rich or Mal?
I would. I think one of the things I love, and we've joked about it previously, is like a prison cart. So, where you've got the box on the back of it and the sort of square panels almost.
Oh, yeah.
Ideally stuffed with birds, as we discussed previously, ready off to a roast. But that sort of thing I'd buy in a heartbeat. I think that'd be really good.
Amazing.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. It'd be space more for me, but I'd probably be tempted if they did something like that.
Just one even, or I've just finished watching The Last Kingdom, so I'm all into the medieval stuff now. Back again.
You could also do something like I'm rewatching Game of Thrones, which is why this has come into my mind. Like the carry thing they have for the royals. So there's 4 guys carrying this, like just one person sized little house type thing that they carry through. Something like that would be really good, actually. And again, that wouldn't take up that much space necessarily, but that could be a really cool little display.
Well, that piece with Anubis with the cat on it, with the kind of
that sort of thing.
Already,
yes, exactly.
That's already kind of in the ballpark, isn't it?
Yeah. I can imagine like Noglin getting carried along on one of those, just like cheeky little face sticking out as it, these true, worn down goblins carry him around.
He seems like the perfect one, doesn't he? That'd want to be like lorded over and made to feel super important, and like you say, carried around.
Right, I'll throw out a few more before we get to your kind of pictures, Rich. A rogue as a type of character. I mean, a rogue and a thief. I think if we think of the kind of classic D&D stuff. I mean, I guess a thief we have Swig maybe, but he's a goblin as well.
Kai Pasha kind
We
of.
got Kai.
Is gonna
Yeah,
fill that role.
Yeah. But I'm maybe more classically human type of one as well.
Yeah.
Which kind of leads. Sorry, Rich. Yeah.
I was going to say, I hate to say it, but actually a 2.0 build would be good for a little rogue thief as well, sort of thing. So nimble, can get through like little crevices and windows and that sort of stuff. Whereas Kai Patch is quite like, big cat.
And that kind of maybe linked to that, you like more specific human head sculpts. Like, okay, we have Otho, Atlas, those type of guys. We have in the females, we have Juno, but not ones in helmets. I mean, they're cool as well, and we get a lot of them with the Necronominus waves at the Knights. But a couple more kind of main character human head sculpts. Like a classic Viking. Now, again, watching Last Kingdom, shaved heads, dreads. You know, like we have Brother of Bjorngar, who's your kind of generic Viking, but like I want a Viking that looks like a Viking that's not Atlas.
Yeah.
You know? And like you saw how popular the Attila human head sculpt was for all various types of stuff. So it's just a chance to put more humans in Cosmic as well, Rich. So
Ooh. Keep Cosmerium human free.
yeah. But you're not too excited by that, Rich, I take it.
No, I think that'd work. I think definitely less beards is the way to go in Mythics. All human heads, with the exception, I think, of Attila.
Yeah.
Pretty much all bearded sort of thing.
Give us
let's get some handlebar mustaches and 5 o'clock
and
shadow.
5 o'clock shadow, maybe.
I think the Gideon head's going to be another popular one once that comes out as well.
Yeah, that's another. Yeah, that's one of my. Yeah, looking forward to that. It's kind of he's got the Tom Selleck, hasn't he?
Yes, yeah,
yeah.
That's a good way of describing it.
And then to actually betray my dislike of the Order of Aetheron as a faction, as a concept thing, but like give us a bishop then, or a holy man, you know, kind of give them a point of focus, you know, where you've got like a bishop with a big hat or whatever, or, you know, a monk kind of holy man type of character. Again, maybe not the most exciting when you talk about the monk holy man, because it could just be just a human with kind of soft goods and maybe a, you know, certain type of a head sculpt. But you know, the bishop, you could go to town on it.
Yeah, I'm genuinely surprised we've not had one of those already. I can only presume they're worried about upsetting a religion whose priests or vicars, whatever, don't dress like that sort of thing. But it's like it's a made up world. Just with a highly religious order, you've got to have a bishop or a priest or
would just be
cleric
cool,
or something like that. It's just crying out for that.
And you know, weave in the story that it's, you know, it's not referencing any type of particular religion. I mean, the Templars is kind of the thing that, you know, people will cling on to, and it's where they kind of got into trouble before with the soft goods for the horse. So, maybe it's best to steer clear. But I think it would be cool, despite my love of the Order of Aetheron. And then the last thing I have on my list there is a proper ghost. So
boo to Hagnon. Get rid of Hagnon.
Yeah. You know, proper ghoulish looking thing. Yeah.
Is this like a Scooby-Doo ghost, John, with a giant sheet?
That's just a sheet shape.
Sort of thing, yeah.
In translucent plastic, not soft goods. No, but I think, you know, they could, like, I don't need to design it for them. I just need to, that's all I need to say. They're the ones that have the talent to design it. But I think that would be really cool. Like a proper, now I know we're getting the guys from the Necronominous wave, that kind of deluxe pack. What are they called again? The Undead Builder Pack, is it?
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's kind of that part of it covered off. But, you know, real kind of ghoulish. You know, could you imagine like Beluolith, kind of like a translucent Beluolith would almost be
terrifying.
so much better than a Hagnon, for example. But, you know, something really designed as a kind of a ghoul or a ghost.
Or really freaky Beluolith, but with ghost creatures in those cages.
Yeah.
So somehow they translucent ghost creatures, but they're still stuck within the bars.
Yeah. Oh, she's going to be so good with that cage and everything.
I'm really excited.
So exciting. Yeah.
Really good.
Right, Rich. Your time to shine. So I've put them 2 per page here, so they might always be related to each other, but
that's absolutely fine. The listeners and viewers will be amazed to hear that the first thing on my list is lizard men. We're missing lizard men from Mythos. God damn it!
Sorry, can I pull you up here for a second now? So Strupp Family Craft. Speaking of them being back in Legions Con, they had a vote on their Instagram this week, and I saw it, and I was on the podcast Instagram account, and I said, "Okay, I'm voting for the lizard thing because, you know, I'm a friend of Rich, and I think he'd be into that. So then I texted, I said, I voted Lizard, Rich. You can vote from your Instagram account. He goes, oh yeah, I voted for the Cthulhu?
Cthulhu, yeah.
So,
that one just sounded cool.
Thanks for nothing, John.
And after all,
I spent 80 episodes listen to you talk about lizards, and then you betray me.
I can only apologise. I feel like I let myself down with that one.
Okay, you could have at least lied to me and go, "Yeah, great." You know, I mightn't have seen you vote for. Thanks, mate. No, I voted for a different one.
No, Malik, and I said, yeah, thanks, John. I voted for that as well. And then they'd announced and said, yeah, thanks to Richard Jones with the final vote. It's pushed the Cthulhu one over. And I'd be like, oh, crap. Okay.
What one in the end, or
the bloody stag, which is cool. Don't get me wrong, it is a cool one, but it's like
we've got stuff like that, though, doesn't it? Yeah. I don't blame Strupp Family Crafts. I blame the people who voted. You all should have known better.
Strupp is only trying to make the stuff that people want to buy,
exactly.
You know, so certainly wouldn't blame them at all. And cool, they had got a great response, so great for them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
they make some great.
I derailed your lizard talk, so
yes, so they probably wouldn't go down this route necessarily because it's a little bit of IP issue with the Warhammer stuff, but sort of, you know, the in my head, this is your quintessential lizard men. So it's the blue ones with the gold armor or the bone armor and the sort of Mayan Aztec, that sort of feel to it all, sort of thing. So something like this, I'd be ecstatic about. Look at the weapon. I mean, the sword type thing the guy's holding there. I mean, that's just brutal. And the shield's got that sort of almost like a dragon wing sort of look to it. So I think something like this would be absolutely amazing. I'm greedy though, so I'd want different. Oh, sorry, Mal, you go.
No, I was going to say, I must admit, the thing I would, but I knew, to be fair, you were going to bring it up, so I didn't leave it. But I think Lizard Men is the thing we're getting so close. And okay, we've got a couple of Lizard Men, but it is the faction that would look so cool on the shelf, and feels like it's the next faction with what we've got, or one of the next factions.
I 100% agree with that, Mal.
I know.
I have, as I said, I will be stropping on the floor in the middle of G-Con if there isn't at least one lizard man in the wave. But I'd like to see different scales as well. So, you know, you could have like a brute. I don't necessarily ogre, but you could have a brute scale. You know, like the one on the left as I'm looking at the screen here. That's a big fella. That could be brute scale. And then you could have smaller ones, so like a gecko-style lizard or a skink or something like that. More sort of goblin size, or even a bit smaller again, with different colours and that sort of thing.
For me, looking at this, you're a head sculpt away with the Rakagor and maybe a bit of armour.
Yes. Yeah, I just don't really want ogre scale. I'm so fussy. I want a lizard man, but not an ogre scale.
Okay.
I see. I think an ogre scale in there as well, so you get all the sizes of these lizards, would be really cool. I mean, again, we've got ogre scale lizard men, I suppose, really, haven't we? But
yeah. So that's another lizard guy.
And that's another lizard man, again, looking at the type of armour sort of thing. So that, I don't know, would you call it Mesoamerica? Or, I mean, Iz will pull me up on me getting this wrong, but that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So lizard men, definitely. Lots of bright colours, cool weapons, that sort of stuff.
And then surprisingly, we have sharks next. We did twist.
Yeah, well, yes. Another who'd have guessed that I wanted a sea creature set of stuff. So I think I'd love like a whole. You could have like 50 factions of sea creatures. I'd buy every single one of them without batting an eyelid. But shark folk would be my number one want. And we've had a few printed pieces now, so a few people have done variations of that. But at the end of the day, no matter how good the printed things are, you can't beat a 4 horseman one. So you could have like a great white shark. You could have a hammerhead shark. I mean, you could change the colours up. You could use, you know, without being too anatomically correct. You could have the great white sculpt, paint it up like a tiger shark. That sort of stuff. So you got lots of options there. Again, that gives you the sort of bare torso maybe look as well for a shark. So you got that sort of like a smoothish torso. And I want a fin on the back too, which doesn't really make much sense as they come out of the water, but a fin on the back for me would be an important part of having a shark warrior.
Yeah. But they
and
could
then
do that with a plug, couldn't they?
They could, absolutely, yes. With that, the main rectangular hole, it's not that big, but the rectangular hole in the back, you could easily put a plug in there, couldn't you? Stay on the sharks for a second, John. Go back to that.
Okay, sorry.
And then you could go.
Well, that's how much I know about fish.
Yeah. Then you could go absolutely crazy. Are you able to zoom in on the picture, John, or is that as big as it gets?
Yeah, that's as big as it gets.
Okay. Second from the
Viewers
left.
should be able to zoom in the video, I suppose.
Second from the left on the top, there's a basking shark. So if you're really going crazy with a giant mouth, because they're filter feed sort of thing, so you could have that. So the mouth would be down, covering part of the torso.
It looks like a kind of cone shape, doesn't he?
Yeah, that would be awesome. The one underneath him is a mega mouth shark, which is just a weird looking shark. They live like so far down, like on the bottom of the ocean, pretty much, and they've just got these massive heads and giant mouths, hence the mega mouth name.
Did you see that Brian C showed off his goblin shark sculpt earlier today?
I did. That looks super cool. Yeah, that's another one for the list. I'm going to buy so many shark pieces that Legion's ridiculous. And John's painted a hammerhead up for me, which is great.
What sickens me is that Brian was sitting down with his kids watching a show about sharks, and he goes, I'm just going to sculpt a few sharks,
I know, and it looks that good.
Come on, dude. Stop it.
Yeah. So talented.
Yeah.
With the shark people too, I'd also want like adapted fins for hands and feet. So it could even just be webbed.
Okay.
So you'd have almost like
It's a lot of tooling here,
webbing.
Rich.
Well, yes, but once you've done it once, all aquatic peoples could have the web.
Maybe that's an idea for an episode. You come with all your ideas, and we can do like a mock meeting at the toy company, where I'm the kind of stray, numbers guy, and Mal can be, the painter or something, and you're the guy with all the ideas. And Mal's like, I can't paint that, and I'm like, the factory that's going to be 5 million.
We could do it Dragon's Den style. I can go and pitch in how much how many years I'm going to scale, and you're like, no, that's ridiculous. Don't talk nonsense.
Yeah, or you just walk in, Dragon's Den style, and I'm going to be like, oh, it's the lizard guy again.
That was a good bit of comedy time in there, John. I like it.
Right, can we move off sharks now? Come on, we don't have all night.
We're on to more sea creatures though. So the two on the left of the screen, moray eels. Again, that sort of serpentine. We get not snakes in a little bit, but serpentine look to it. Huge set of teeth. I'm sure that'd be incredibly difficult to sculpt.
These look like cosmic.
Going for everything. They could be cosmic, yes. You could use them in cosmic as well, just as easily. The top right there, you have a flower horn cichlid.
He looks like he's had a Hubba Bubba chewing gum and he's blown it out through his forehead.
They're incredibly expensive and incredibly popular, these fish. And
can you get them for your tank?
It's as big as my tank, so no.
Okay. So what?
But they've been bred for the thing to get bigger and bigger.
So what would they have them in massive tanks then in their house, or would they? Yeah,
so they're very feisty. So people tend to have just the one fish in their tank. So you'd be looking at like a 5 foot tank.
Can imagine in this massive mansion of this rich person, and there's just this angry bubblehead fish running around. It would run for cover.
Yeah, some people will split a tank in two and have with like egg crate or something, and have one each side, so they just get angry with each other all the time, and it improves their colours and that. But for me, no. But can you imagine that on a Mythic Legions figure? How good would that face be?
It would be cool.
And the giant bubble foam head.
Be cool. Yeah. Oh yeah, cosmic though.
Oh, maybe cosmic. This is true. These could easily go cosmic as well. I'll admit that.
I can't see how the bubblehead fish would fit into Mythic. Well, maybe
if you
Poxus or something like that. Yeah. Maybe Poxus has disease. Like this looks like a disease, And is that a pike in the bottom right then?
It's a wolffish. So it's an Amazon wolffish. But a similar sort of thing to a pike, just like, if you look at the lower teeth, that would be a really good sculpt with these two massive lower spike teeth coming up. So that's something like that would work really well.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Right.
keep us moving on to the fish then, John.
Yeah. More fish and
So,
Travis Bowles holding a giant crab.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, top left is a clown triggerfish, and it could be any. Triggerfish are quite cool because they've got quite thin faces, but very, very pronounced lips and sort of not teeth, but beaks, almost sort of thing for eating. So I think that'd be a good look. And I picked that particular one because the colours are amazing on it. So for a colour scheme, that would look weird but great, and again, probably more cosmic. The more I think about it now, I basically picked a load of cosmic stuff, haven't I? But there we go.
I think the seahorse would be awesome.
Yeah, so it's sorry to correct you, Mal. I don't want to be that sort of pedant, but it's a sea dragon.
Right, sorry.
So
sea dragon.
so it's a relation to a seahorse, but it's a sea dragon.
Yeah.
So this is a weedy sea dragon, which is a terrible name. Poor fish. It's like, bullied. Weedy. It's weedy. But again, you got the long nose, the really cool sort of, they're not ears, but that sort of look to it coming off the top. Brilliant bright colours. That would be awesome.
They're
sort of
the real
Brian C making if it didn't make them.
I was going to say, seahorses and sea dragons are the real Steve of the ocean, aren't they? Kind of dominated by their female partners because they carry the babies and give birth. So,
Yeah.
They do. They think they're the alphas, but they're really not.
yeah, that's it, yeah.
And then crustaceans. I'd absolutely want crustaceans in this. The picture on the right-hand side is a Japanese spider crab, the biggest crab in the world. And look at the size of that bad boy. I'd want the long pincers coming out from the back. So again, a plug-in sort of port or something like that. So you could have the crab head as the main head, and then these like long, weird, again, sci-fi almost looking legs coming out of the back as extra appendages. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Okay, John, if you want to move us on.
Right. Yeah, I'm moving on.
Some more crabs. So on the right-hand side, we have, I can't remember the name of the crab, but the top right is the largest land crab in the world.
Penis crab.
And
Isn't it like a palm crab or something like that?
it could well be something like that, yeah.
Coconut.
But they're huge. I mean, you can't really see it that well here, but the pincers are enormous. I mean, they're like that sort of size sort of thing. So, if you want, obviously a crustacean creature would have to have pincers for hands. That goes without saying.
It's coconut crab.
Coconut crab, thank you, Mel. So that would be really cool. And then underneath it is an emerald crab, but it could be any crab, that generic crab look with the pincers and that sort of stuff. So again, you'd want the pincers. And that crabby face with the little eyes sticking up on stalks, even. That put a great way to describe a crab. There's little eyes on stalks. There we go. If we're getting really weird, on the left-hand side, we have two members of the pufferfish family. So the top left here, we have a porcupine pufferfish. I have no idea how you'd sculpt that and
Spike
make
or
that,
tribute.
because there's so many spikes. But yes, you could use it for a spike or tribute. I mean, how cool would that head look on a figure? You got this knight, and he's just got a massive pufferfish head.
Yeah.
No, just me? Okay.
It'd be quite fun. It would be fun.
And then underneath you got a cowfish. These are really cool guys as well. And again, how good would that head look on a normal figure?
That
Okay.
would actually be quite fun. No, that would be a fun one. His little mouth looks like he's going moo.
Yeah.
Moo.
That's why it's called a cowfish. Why isn't he black and white though? Come on.
Good point.
This is true. He's not a Frisian cowfish, is he? So that's a problem.
Probably in a warm ocean.
Some
Before you go on,
snakes and
before you go on to
cute
these,
puppies.
John, yeah. So one other crab thing, which I forgot to mention, and I didn't send any pictures, hermit crabs. So hear me out here. So you could have hermit crabs, and you could have a variety of shell backpacks. So obviously they all pick different shells. So you could have like an armor piece as a shell backpack, and they could do like a pack of them. So different shapes, different colors, that sort of thing. You could use.
This is a
whichever
new
one
toy
you
line
want
you're
to do with
talking
your
about here.
hermit crabs.
This isn't what's missing from Legions. This is what new toy line would I like to do?
These would all fit in with Mythics. Just expand your horizons, John. Right, now we can move on. So, snake men.
Obviously,
We
we
want
Eric Treadway to watch this episode.
Yeah. And then just send me a polite email what does Jeremy say?
I'll send him some money and say,
Yeah.
Eric, please just watch this and bear with it, especially the rubbish through the Legions Con map bullshit, and get to this stuff.
What did Jeremy say when Eric said he doesn't say no? He says, "Where did you get to that decision? How did you come to that conclusion?"
Yeah.
So I'd imagine I'd get a response going, "So how did you come to every one of these conclusions?"
Yeah.
So snake men. Again, I've talked about these at length. I'd want a snake lower body, but then an anthropomorphic torso. So you've got like human torso, arms, but then a long curly snake.
I'm having to lean back from the screen here for this blue guy. He's looking at me, you know?
He is, yeah. Yeah, if you don't like snakes, he's but I've used two examples of the sort of stuff you can do. So you've got a cobra head, and I know third parties have done some of this stuff, but again, you can't beat it in terms of the factory stuff. So you got a cobra head at the bottom, and you've got a viper head. I typed in pit viper. I don't know if that's a pit viper or not, but it's got that sort of slightly pointed bit to the top of the head, and again, look at the colours you could do with these things. You've got to admit, snake characters.
Yeah, you're not a painter, though. You don't know how much of a pain in the arse it is to paint like that.
I'm the sort of demanding customer. Yeah,
I don't know that you say that, but that snake at the top, it's not dissimilar to the Oleg Thygar.
The snake at the top looks easier than it's lines and stripes. While they often don't look that difficult, can be a bigger pain in the ass.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Actually, the Oleg
that people look impressed by.
Yeah, the Oleg thing, Mal. John's actually painted a head that's similar to that colour for me. A snake.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I'd want a bendy tail so that in my head you can wrap it around a figure. So you've got like an ogre or a brute scale figure, and it's got this snake man wrapped around him, and the snake man's like stabbing him or something like that, or biting him or whatever the snake man would be doing. And then different scales as well. So I'm thinking if you had like an ogre sized snake, you could go for one of the sort of constrictors, so like an anaconda or something like that. But really big snake, wrap you up, swallow you whole. You could even have a movable jaw if you wanted to. And then you could go 1.0 or 2.0 for the smaller sort of snake species as well.
Right, and then the cute dogs, please bring us in.
Yes.
And
we're now
the reason they're on the
dogs.
same. The reason they're on the same screen is I did these two per page because Rich sent them just before the episode. So I didn't get to check really how they lined up.
Yeah, no, this is 100% my fault. I just pinged them through about 10 minutes before we started. So
I mean, it kind of works, but if I could just get those snakes,
it's a good contrast.
I'm just going to hold my hand up to the.
I would.
I think dogs, to be fair, probably are easier than everything else you've said so far because it's mostly head sculpts, isn't it? So.
It is head sculpts and a couple of tails.
Or, like Beluilith has the kind of little, what's that thing called again? It's a skeleton.
Oh, the chimera.
Chimera. So, something like that, but actually a dog. Little side.
You could. I was thinking of these as actual characters, but yes, you could have them as
you could do the dog head sculpts like, people have done.
Yeah. So I just picked some cool looking dogs that I like. So top left, we have a Newfoundland. Who doesn't love that big, fluffy, give me a cuddle sort of, he could be the cuddly member of the, think of Little John in dog form.
I look at all these beautiful dogs and it makes me forget about all my neighbours' barking dogs. Like there's 4 or 5 houses around in a circle and they all have yappy barking dogs, and new people moved in down the road because the others moved out, and the new people brought 2 big massive dogs that bark every time I go and feed the neighbour's hens. So I normally, the neighbour is the brother-in-law, and I normally go down and feed the hens, put all of our waste food over the fence to the hens, and I get now assaulted by 2 big massive looking yolks barking like very aggressively at the fence. Because the first thing the guy did day one when he moved in was build this fence, and I was like, okay, what's he doing that for? Now I know. Anyway, rant over. Beautiful dogs.
Top right's a corgi, Welsh name, dog,
Queen.
Welsh breed. So that's gotta be in there. I think Guion posted something about the corgi. It means dwarf dog. So key in Welsh is dog.
But everyone in the world just thinks it's the Queen's dog.
Yeah, basically, and the core, whatever is dwarf.
Former Queen.
Bottom left is a Schnauzer. This particular one's a miniature Schnauzer, but it could be
beautiful.
Again, gorgeous dogs. Gorgeous dogs. Can you imagine that head sculpt on a knight?
Yeah.
How good would that look?
Yeah. Schnauzer look good.
And then a boxer. Again, another quite unique head sculpt on a boxer with the jowls.
Bitten by one as a kid, so no thank you.
And then we have Bull Terrier, top left. I love these guys. They've got such unusual faces. I mean, you don't get bitten by one. They don't let go when they bite. The jaws are designed so they don't let go. They
kind of look half albino with the way I think it's the way the eye is, along with the white fur.
Yeah. Then top right, you got a husky. Again, can you imagine a husky warrior? How good? I mean, I'd have an entire platoon of them. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Bottom right is a Rottweiler. I grew up with Rottweilers. My parents always had Rottweilers when I was a kid. Gorgeous dogs. Again, if they made a Rottweiler figure, I would buy it in a heartbeat and buy lots of them. And then a Doberman, bottom left. Again, really cool head sculpt. John, you painted a couple of Dobermans for me because I know there's 3D makers that have done these. But again,
have you opened them yet?
I haven't. No, I'm working my way through the. For listeners, John sent me a box of wonders. I think is the correct terminology. But there's a lot. It's a big box of wonders.
Yeah.
So I'm working my way through it.
4 or 5 months worth of painting.
Yeah. I will be displaying as many of them as I can on figures in the near future, John, so that you don't feel that that's been wasted.
No. Look, it's done. It's done. Cold, hard businessman here. It's done. Don't care about them anymore. No.
Well, in that case, I'll be breaking them with a hammer live on the next episode.
I am now monitoring your eBay, every day. You'll have to open the Jones 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah. And then next up, and this is a race I'd love to have in Mythos, is sort of Rockmen.
This I agree with. Yeah.
There's probably a terminology for it, but
as well.
Yeah, I would love to see. And you got this would be what I'd regard as a generic Rockman type look.
Yeah.
With the different boulder sizes and that all joined together as part of the limbs. I think this would be a great setup for the Horseman. And again, just cool parts. So I would absolutely want that. And then if you go on to the next page, John.
Yep. There.
This is where it gets slightly more crazy in that we have an Egyptian pharaoh Rockman on the left-hand side.
Why not?
That a company made. But again, I'd quite like the sort of...
Built with bits of the pyramid.
Yes. That'd be awesome. I'd like an ogre scale one to the one on the right and the previous one, the sort of generic Rockman look. But then I'd actually quite like some 1.0 sized ones as well with, it doesn't have to be Egyptian. I just picked Egyptian because I love Egyptian stuff. But that sort of look to them as well, sort of thing. The really square chins and that sort of stuff. It's I would love a race of Rockmen. I've got 3 or 4 that I'm working on as customs. John, you painted a couple of pieces again for me.
Yeah.
For those. Yeah. So again, Rockmen would be awesome. And then you could have weapons like tree stumps and that sort of stuff because they're big, strong guys. They just pick stuff up and whack people with those. You could even do it, and this is going completely crazy now, with multiple arms too. So I was going to have one thing that's missing in Mythics is creatures with more than 2 arms. And I know we've got Dispatar coming who's got more, but generally there aren't many of those. So a Rockman with like 4 arms, so good.
Right. And next we have...
I think we've got more Rockman if you keep going. Yeah. So look at that. Look at the guy on the left there. Look at that jaw. That's like a gladiator one. And, just a solid jaw. It's like, yeah, I'm going to beat everyone down. Here we go. Then we have steeds. So again, I just need a couple of pictures from Warhammer. So these are lizard steeds, basically. I think they're called cold ones, but I could be wrong about that. Because the dark elves ride lizards as well, sort of thing. But again, these are the sort of more, they're not velociraptors, but that sort of scale thing with the claws and the bipedal and they run you down and this sort of thing. So as a cavalry thing, I think that would be awesome. If you go on to the next one, John.
Yeah.
Then the one on the left here is more of a, I think these might be the cold ones actually. It's more of a ferocious elite you as soon as look at you dinosaur, but with the forelimbs on the floor sort of thing. And again, you could have like an armored knight or something sat on the top of that. So I think that would be glorious. In terms of steeds too, I want to go weird with steeds. Hence, we have 2 rhinoceros on the right-hand side of the picture here. Top right, we've got the Indian one-horned rhino, and the bottom right, we have the white rhino. Either one of these would be great. The Indian one-horn is a particular favourite of mine. I once petted one in a zoo. I shouldn't have done it. They had big signs, everyone saying don't do that, but I leant over and didn't get impaled, so that was good. But yeah, a favourite of mine. And again, you could have, you got the sort of armour-plated skin look. It's big and it's bulky, so you could put whatever you wanted on basically one of those. And then they've got big old horns, some of them, that can do some real damage. If you could even armour them if you wanted to as well. So I would love to see a rhino steed. In terms of other steeds, the pictures aren't there, but there's been a lot of talk about goats for dwarves. I think some sort of goat, like mountain goat or something for a dwarf to ride on we really need something like that in Mythics. Or a boar, again, a boar for a dwarf to ride on, something like that.
Yep.
I'd love to see mammoths. Can you imagine like a frost ogre or a half giant riding in?
Yeah.
Again, I'm just watching Game of Thrones where a giant was riding a mammoth. But that would be awesome, sort of thing. It would cost a bloody fortune, something that big, but it would be great. So yeah, I'd absolutely love that. Some pictures I didn't send. John's got his hurry up rich face, so I won't go too long in this.
Have I?
You have, yeah.
Wow.
But I'd love the horsemen to do fungi folk, as I've termed
mushroom
it.
men,
So
yeah.
again, there are a few third-party designs. I commissioned one myself from Prop Masters, who did a brilliant one. Anthony's done 3, I think, now, different ones. And I've got fungi folk in my display. They will do when I put them all together in my display. But I love the idea of, it's a toadstool. Oh no, it's armed. Hang on a minute.
That kind of stuff, while awesome, I think it's so niche that the fear is there'll be like 100 people that'll think it's the best thing we've ever seen in the world, but 1,000 people that'll say, I'm not buying that.
Yeah. No, I get that.
That's the problem.
Right with that,
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Which is why it's great for the custom side of it.
Yeah. But I like the idea of having the mushrooms. Then you can have little funky spores almost sticking out of them. A blowpipe would be a great weapon for this because they release spores. Fire a blowpipe spore at somebody, that would be good.
But speaking of forest stuff, I think more tree men to go with faunus.
Yes, I didn't mention tree men because we've got faunus already, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I would be all on board.
But I think more. You could always say more.
And again, you could go bigger with a tree man too, so you could have an ogre scale tree man. That would fit.
But that's okay. You don't mind ogre scaling that?
No. I'm very particular. It's like, certain things have certain places. It's like my wife laughs at me because my condiment selection, like ketchup, whatever sort of thing, is very dependent on what the meal is. And she's just like, what the hell are you doing? I was like, well, chips.
It's normal,
cream.
no?
And she's like, what is wrong with you? It's ketchup. And I was like, salad cream goes amazingly with chips.
Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise is okay. But salad cream, glorious.
I do like
Anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Sorry for... I don't know if you have salad cream in America, but just
they might not, actually.
Don't bother. Just don't bother. It's awful.
You know nothing, Jon Snow. Anthropomorphic characters. I won't go into too much detail on this because I've talked about it a lot, I'm sure, in other episodes.
Yeah.
I commissioned a tape here myself. Wolf King.
We need to keep it under 2 hours so I can get rid of that gerbil.
Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry. Again, it sounds like you're going to murder him. Leave Waffles alone, dude. He's fine.
You mightn't hear it, listener. You mightn't hear it, listener, in the post, and that'll be well done to me. But I mean, he's supposed to be drinking. He must be bloody drowning at this stage.
He was also nibbling on a couple of things as well. So he's
okay.
Generally annoying.
It sounds like the whole way through.
Yeah, that would be him. That would be him chewing on stuff.
Wow.
So and so.
Little prick. Sorry.
Amazing.
Anthropomorphic figures. You could give me any anthropomorphic figure. I'd make
Ride on Gerba and with a whip.
Oh
accessory.
yeah, war gerbil. That would be awesome. Being ridden by a little, I don't know, some sort of tiny little creature.
As long as the rider has a whip that they can beat the gerbil with. Keep it quiet. Sorry, you can report me to PETA or whatever those RSPCA.
I would love a giraffe though. I think a giraffe neck and head, I think would be great. And I think somebody has done one. I think it's a third party thing, but again, you know, more of a bendable neck, that sort of stuff for the horseman would be awesome. Gnomes. We are missing gnomes. We desperately need gnomes. We need little people. I keep banging on about this for cosmics, but we need little people. Yeah, we need little people for mythics too. And it can be gnomes, it could be like little evil pixie type things, or you know, small things.
I was looking at the rattling snipers from Warhammer 40k as when we were thinking about what characters we'd kind of like or what we'd commission people to sculpt. So yeah, I'd be all for smaller people in both mythic and cosmic.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something we need, Eric. Hint, hint. Werewolves. We're going to get these at some point because Eric said he loves werewolves and he said they're in Mythos, but we need werewolves. I'd want brute or ogre scale ideally for werewolves because again, you know, I'm fussy with my scales.
Listen, Eric, okay.
Yeah.
Be careful. Don't
what
invent
I would
a
like
new
to...
scale now for the werewolves.
Oh, that would be cool. Brute plus. So it's not quite ogre, but it's a bit bigger than brute.
It's like Monkey King is not really, I mean, it's 1.0 scale, but it's got slightly different size, you know?
Yeah. I'd want, because I'm demanding, different looks though. So like a human turned into a werewolf would look like a particular werewolf. Then a dwarf turned into a werewolf would look different. Obviously it'd be like orange fur because it's a dwarf that's been turned. But then it would have, I don't know, maybe more of a puggish face than a human that had been turned and that sort of stuff. So, you know, you could go to town on the werewolves, Eric, just like. Were creatures, I would love a were tiger. Give me a were tiger all day, every day. I'd be all over that.
A wiger?
It could be a wiger, I guess. And I'd also love a were hyena. Because I'd love a hyena in the line too. Again, that's a wiener. You hear it here, folks. I'd love a wiener.
Oh my god! Right, are we done with your animals now? Are we?
I think so.
Can I play the outro?
No, not quite. Character types we haven't had. John's definitely got that face. Anyone that's just listening.
Now I have it.
Squires. We need squires. We talked about this before. Like soft goods or basic armor. You know, somebody to support the knight. Blacksmith.
Townsfolk. We're not going to get townsfolk.
We're not going to get townsfolk. A squire's not townsfolk.
It's a jumped up townsfolk.
And then very briefly, accessories. Whips. We need whips. Why haven't we got whips?
Yeah, for the gerbil.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, a little chariot being pulled along by two gerbils.
He's heard me because he's stopped now as well.
Yeah, that could work well. Multi-ended flails. Again, we've got flails, but it's just the one thing. Let's have one with 3, 4, 5.
More flame effects. Arrows with flame effects.
Be awesome, yeah. And heavily spiked maces. And again, this could be like the porcupine puffer. Impossible to do, but just a shit ton of spikes on the end of these things, sort of thing. So you're going to do some proper damage to people.
Or like wooden club with spike on it. Like that.
I think that's everything. I could go on all day. You know me.
He could, yeah.
Mission ideas.
Press the outro now, so we're done. Yeah. Thanks, Rich. Enjoyed that. You know what? I didn't think we had much for this week, but turns out we did.
Stay safe out there, everybody, and don't upset John, otherwise you'll get the look.
This is what not being able to drink does to me.
Oh, I forgot to show this. My my walk
What's
like
that?
an Egyptian.
There you go. You can go in your Anubis display.
Yeah.
Love it.
You'll have to put featuring waffle in. Don't bother cutting them out. Just put featuring waffle in the.
Sorry, Mel.
on the-
It's
the
waffles.
graphics.
No, it's really annoying.
waffles.
No.
Featuring.
I won't listen back to it if I don't get rid of it.